I am an eternal optimist. So please, God, don't tell me that you're an eternal pessimist.
I like to say I'm a realist.
Oh, it's great. We're going to get along great. This is going to be great.
This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
Crowd is here, about to blow, waiting for me to start the show. Out the curtain, lights go up from home. Whoa!
Brett Favre goes back to pass. He pumps. Now he fires over the middle. Intercepted. I can't believe what I'm seeing right now. It was intercepted by Tracy Porter near side to the 40, and John Sullivan runs him down at the 47-yard line. You've got to be kidding me. I can't believe what I just saw.
Looking at that play, he should have just held on to a call. He could have easily gotten 5 or 6 yards if he would have just pulled that thing down and dove forward.
But why do you even ponder passing? I mean, you can take a knee and try a 56-yard field goal. This is not Detroit, man. This is the Super Bowl.
My favorite Paul Allen is an upset Paul Allen.
Absolutely.
The Vikings radio network, back when Brett Favre was their quarterback and they were this close to the Super Bowl until they weren't.
Yep. They could have just taken a knee.
This isn't Detroit. What's up, Wisconsin? Welcome in. Happy Tuesday inside Wisconsin Sports on your radio and online at wisportsradio.com. Live on YouTube as well and the Twitter. Go there if you want to partake in Josh's amazing snowflake hat. What is that?
I mean, it's a snowflake hat. It's a winter hat.
Literally, that's it.
Yeah.
How we need to take an inventory.
No,
I
we
need
don't.
to start taking an inventory.
No.
I think I'm going to do that. That's my New Year's resolution.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to write down all of the different hats that Josh Albrecht wears, and I'm just going to start counting. And I'm going to alphabetically order them so that I know if there's a repeat.
It's a ton of work for you. You
I
set
don't think
up a
I've
lot
ever
of work.
seen this one. I don't think I've ever seen this one.
Yeah, this one's made its appearance. This is in the December rotation.
Come on, there's a rotation.
Yeah, I got Christmas hats. I got, I've had like
Oh my
10 or
God,
11
I love
Christmas
that.
hats I've been wearing all
I
holiday
know.
season.
I know.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Trevor Thomas, Josh Albrecht.
Hi.
We are live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios and powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. The Nicolay Law Fan Talk and text line is open for you. We love it when you interact with us. Call, text your call or your text. 414-677-1250. 414-677-1250. Let's play catch up, shall we? Packers, Brewers, Badgers, Bucks, other. First the pack. The return of Jonathan Ford. Heard his name once or twice?
Yes. Yes, I have.
We drafted him back in 2022. I believe it was pick number 234, 7th round. Here is our guy, Tom Grassi. You know this cat? Listen to this on our drafting of Jonathan Ford.
And with the 234th pick, the Green Bay Packers decided to go defensive tackle once again, this time with Jonathan Ford from Miami. 6'5", 333 pounds. Oh, he's a big boy.
Oh, he's a big boy.
That's good. We need more big boys.
All we need is big boys right now.
Yeah.
This cat's been through the ringer, Josh.
True.
We signed him to a rookie contract after we drafted him, May 6, 2022. He made the 53-man, but he was inactive the entire 2022 season. August 30th, end of training camp in 23, waived, but re-signed to the practice squad. January, after the 23 season, that's when players can be signed to these reserve future contracts, so he's still a Packer. August 27th, IR. Something happened in camp. He begins the season on IR. He's activated on the 21st off of the IR. And then released and re-signed to the practice squad. I can't imagine this life. It gets worse. December 11th, 2024, Ford signs to the Bears practice squad. And then on April 8th, signs some weird, I've never heard of this, exclusive right free agent contract. Like, I thought I knew things about contracts in the NFL until I read that. Got waived, final cuts, then active roster on the Bears, waived again. And then we claim him. So he was just waived by the Bears December 28th, claimed off of waivers by the Pack on December 28th. 27th, 28th, now he's with us. I understand he's a space saver, a space eater. He's a big old boy. But at some token, knowing full well that we are very likely to play the Bears in the playoffs, this move to go get a guy who's been on the Bears team the entire year, knows their game plans, knows their offensive playbook, knows everything about the Bears and how they scheme against the Packers. This one's genius.
Yeah, it's a good move. I still kind of feel like it's I'm not going to say a nothing burger, but I'm not looking at it like it's a huge. It's not making me feel any better about where the team's at. I'll just say it that way.
It's a nice step, though. Like, I understand what you're saying. Listen, there's a very good chance that the ship has sailed.
Right.
And them doing nothing isn't what we want either. So, got to do something, fill the void, literally go get a guy that, what did Tom say, 6'6", 6'5", 346? Apparently that varies by listing. Big old boy. That's all we need right now is big old boys.
True.
Lombardi Avenue at 1265, a little quiet yesterday, and the same is true today. They were off yesterday-ish, and then off today. I don't know what's going on over there. Now they play on Sunday at noon because the game literally doesn't matter. Remember when Mark Murphy said that, Josh?
Yeah.
Well, if your team's playing at noon on Sunday, it's because they suck.
Yeah. Well, and here we are.
Here we are.
I do think it's interesting, though, like if you're trying to show something from your team after a huge letdown, and then it's like 2 days in a row, just crickets. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's not a great
I
look.
understand. Media veils and all these things are what they are, but at some token, you're looking for anything.
Something.
To
To
make it feel
anything.
better.
Just something.
That 2022 draft class for the Packers, absolutely absurd how successful of a draft that was for Brian Gutekunst. Listen to this, Josh. Quay Walker, first-round pick. Devontae Wyatt, first-round pick. Christian Watson in the second round. Sean Ryan in the third round. Romeo Doubs in the fourth round. Zach Tom in the fourth round. Kingsley Ngabare in the fifth round. Tariq Carpenter, last played for the UFL in 2025. Jonathan Ford, back on the squad.
Mhm.
Rasheed Walker. And then Samari Torre, wide receiver. He is on the Saints practice squad. I understand that people are looking at all of the things and questioning all of the things. I had no idea that the 2022 draft class of the Green Bay Packers produced 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and now Jonathan Ford, 8 starters.
Yeah.
That is nuts.
I'm not necessarily surprised, though. I'm more surprised that they all stuck. But, yeah, it's Goody's all. I feel like that's just an underrated thought on Goody, or people don't realize that because there are things you can look at and you can pinpoint over his career in Green Bay that hasn't been the best, but people don't take a step back and look at, like you just said, you bringing down the X's and O's of what those players have done per draft class. Yeah, that was huge.
I would like to see another team that has 7 starters from the same draft class. I don't think I've ever seen that before, ever.
Yeah, I
Certainly
almost wish it wasn't, though, because I'm not happy with them.
You're not happy with these guys? Let's go through this again.
Okay.
Tell me who you're not happy. Well, I mean, tell me who you wouldn't want to start or that you're not happy that's on the Packers. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Quay Walker.
Well, he came. Asked me that a year or two ago, and I'd have a different answer. But
Maturity matters.
Yep.
Devontae Wyatt.
Yes.
Christian Watson.
Okay.
Sean Ryan.
Okay.
Romeo Doubs.
He won't be.
Maybe. Don't wish that into things. Don't wish that into existence.
Oh, that'll be a conversation.
It will. Zach Tom.
Yep, love him.
Love him. Ngabare. Kingsley.
Yeah.
Okay. And now Rasheed Walker. That's the one I'll give you.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. That's the one I'll give you.
And I don't know. Just in general, I mean, there's a difference between like standout player and just okay, good enough. Like when you said Devontae Wyatt, I went, yep, he came on big. Love that. You know, Zach Tom, yes. Like those are definitive.
Christian Watson.
Christian Watson.
Romeo
yes.
Doubs. I mean, those are 1 and 2 right there.
But you know, they're also they're okay. But if there was someone better out
because
there
of this season,
well, yeah, I'm always looking at, you know, what have you done for me lately?
Sure, but this season's a little different in regards to the injuries. I'd like to think that we can at least all agree on that at this point. But you bring up a solid point. Look at the Brewers roster, and then go, right? Joey Ortiz, amazing shortstop.
Yeah.
Can we do better with Bryce Terang? Maybe, right? So there's always going to be better guys out there. My point is 7 starters from the same draft class.
That's
the
impressive.
ability to, quote, draft and develop. That's proof right there. No news from the Brewers. They are quiet because it's the hot stove. They're all like chilling. No baseball talk, no nothing. Spring training will be here before we know it. I'm jacked for that. I really want to go down there.
Have you ever been?
I want to so bad. Have you?
Yeah, I went one time.
Amazing?
With the missus. Yeah, it was great. It's fantastic.
I think I need a playbook for that. I'm worried that I wouldn't get the most out of it. I would love to take my boys. My youngest would be bored out of his skull because he's not a sports guy. But Rhodey would be, a kid in a candy store.
Yeah, it's literally just like you're watching you're at AmFam, but you're not.
Don't you get to interact with the players, though, a lot more at spring training?
You can, but you're still having to wait, by the fences and do things. It's not like you're getting to go on the field and talk to guys.
Is it a crowded deal? Are there a lot of people?
It's not usually to where tickets are sold out and you're, looking for a seat and you can sit on the hill, in the outfield. And it's a very chill way to watch baseball when it's really cold in Wisconsin.
Valid. Let's go to Arizona. Sounds good. Not much cooking for the Wisconsin Badgers. They lost in the finals of this tournament in 5-serve last night. Didn't see that coming for the hockey team.
No.
I think everybody's surprised by that. Hopefully we can just flush that and
move on.
They've been pretty good this season. Men's basketball plays tonight against the Milwaukee Panthers at the Kohl Center in Madison. They are the team, by the way, in case you don't know, that are picked to win the Horizon League. And this just goes to show you.
Didn't they win last night, too? The Panthers? They might have.
Didn't look at that. The Horizon League and the Big Ten. Quite different, okay?
Yes.
The Badgers are not picked to win the Big Ten. I don't know who is.
I don't know either.
Did you see the line on this?
On this game? No, I haven't.
Okay. So it's Panthers picked to win the Horizon League, and the Badgers, middle of the road, maybe a little bit higher than middle of the road Big Ten team. What do you think the line is?
Badgers are favored by 7.5.
20.5 points.
Okay.
What?
Yeah, it's a huge difference. That's why there's going to be, 7 and 10 teams from the Big Ten in the tournament and 1 team from the Horizon.
Forever and ever 1 team from the Horizon League.
Yep.
So who are you taking?
I'm going to take the Badgers.
Over 20.5.
Oh, against the no, I think the Panthers cover the spread.
You do? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll take the Badgers because that's just the fun of it. We'll look at that tomorrow. But 20.5. Did Milwaukee play last night? Did you find that?
They did. Yeah, they did.
What was the score?
77-55 against Fort Wayne, something or other.
Yeah, Fort Wayne. That's where the Phoenix are. Remember, that's where Doug Gottlieb and the team are headed for New Year's Day.
That's right. There's no better way to spend it.
Fort Wayne Mastodons?
Yeah, that's right. The Mastodons. 8-7 this year.
Well, that's a big win, though, against a team that is 8-7. So maybe the Panthers can cover 20.5. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Bucks, don't know what the line was, but they won. Let's
sure
go.
did.
Let's go. Here's Giannis on how things are going.
Yeah, it feels good. It feels good, man. We get it back to our old selves. We had a really good team. We just got to get out of our feelings.
I don't know exactly what Doc said after the game, but I assume it sounded something like this.
That's 2 in a row. We win 1 tomorrow. That's called a winning streak. It has happened before.
Got it.
What's his name from Major League?
Lou Brown.
Oh, what a beaut that guy was.
Oh, man. That's the best movie. I absolutely love Major League.
It is. Top 5 of all time for sure. Bucks 123, Hornets 113. Con Knippel for the Hornets, stud. Like number 2 in the NBA overall with 3-pointers this year. That's crazy. He didn't play. Twisted/sprained ankle versus Orlando back on the 27th. X-rays were negative. And so if the Bucks don't have Giannis and a team beats the Bucks, Do they go, yay, big win? Or, well, I mean, they don't have Giannis.
Right.
Does that work for Knipple too?
No.
Why?
Because Knipple's not Giannis.
No. I'm saying one of the best players on the other team wasn't playing.
Right. But I'm saying Giannis is on a different level. Right. There's like maybe, I'm going to say 8 to 10 players in the league total that's the conversation. You can use it as an excuse. It can be brought up, but it's not the overarching, statement of the game. It's not the headline that's being posted.
No, definitely not.
When you beat a team that Giannis isn't on, we talked about Giannis half the game anyway, because he is the team, which you will hear more of in the most electrifying sound. You'll understand why. But hey, I wanted to ask you. So last night, Doc Rivers became the 6th all-time winningest coach in regular season games. Passing
For who, the Bucks or NBA?
All-time NBA.
Really?
Past George Karl, former Bucks coach as well.
Yeah.
With 1,176 all-time wins.
Wow.
They made that announcement during the game, and I couldn't have let out a bigger, hey, how about that? Is that bad? Am I the bad guy for not caring at all? Like, I'm so salty on Doc that it's like, I mean, that's an incredible accomplishment.
It's
right?
incredible. It's right. Why does it not feel that way in Milwaukee, though?
Because I don't know that a lot of those wins were earned in Milwaukee. I would like to know how many of those 1,176 wins came with him being a coach for the Bucks. I don't feel like it's something that, as a fan of the Milwaukee Bucks, I'm going, hell yeah, he did. And, putting Milwaukee on the map, like that wasn't, I don't think of Doc Rivers being an outstanding coach in Milwaukee at all, at any point.
Who is the head coach of the Bucks that sticks out to you?
I mean, probably Budenholzer, because he won the ship.
But how long was he here? 3 years?
Yeah.
That's nuts, by the way. If it is, it's not long. I'm curious. The one that comes to mind right away for me is Jason Kidd. I don't know why. And I don't know if I could tell you who coached the Bucks. George Karl was quite a bit back in the day of my childhood.
He had 5 seasons. Budenholzer did.
Okay. But he was fired the year after they won the championship. Is that right? They won the championship. He had
2
one more
years.
year. 2 years.
He was here till 23.
Let's go. That's crazy. Good for Doc. That's a lot of wins. Who do you have don't tell me. Who are do you have the list of who's above Doc? No.
I can bring it up.
The only one that comes to mind that's for sure above him is Phil Jackson. But I want to know how many of these dudes are still coaching today. I would imagine, let's think about this. Above Doc Rivers, it's Phil Jackson, head coach of the Spurs. What was his name?
Phil Jackson is an 8th.
Really?
With 1155.
Wow.
The person you're trying to think of with the Spurs, though, is number 1.
Popovich.
Yes.
Who are the rest?
1390. Don Nelson with the Bucks, Warriors, Knicks, and Mavericks had 1335. Lenny Wilkins had 1332. Jerry Sloan had 1221. Pat Riley, 1210. And then Doc Rivers with 1176.
Crazy. Listen to that list and then, Doc Rivers.
Right.
Huh. Are we not giving him enough credit? Oh, I'm unhappy with this.
No. And that's what I'm saying. If you go and you look at passionate NBA fans, by the way, they're not giving him his flowers either, because it's regular season. And the big knock on Doc was always he couldn't do anything when it mattered. His teams flopped when it mattered most. He only, in all of those wins, he only has 1 championship with the Celtics.
The 414 on the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line, 414-677-1250. Jason in Wind Lake. This show is so anti-Bucks.
Is that true? I feel like maybe it's half anti-Bucks.
I might be anti-Bucks right now, but I'm a bandwagon Bucks guy. I've been admitted to that. And you're a realist.
Yeah, I'm pretty offended by that, actually. Jason,
I don't know that I'm anti-Bucks. I'm just not all in Bucks. So maybe I'm more of a realist with the Bucks, and you're more of a fan than I am, which I was thinking about that on the way in this morning. I'm a Bucks fan, but I'm also not like, whoa, got to watch the Bucks every single night. I live in Northeast Wisconsin. I can literally see the blinking lights on Lambeau Field as I speak. So the Bucks aren't in my backyard like they are there in Milwaukee, which I appreciate, by the way. If I lived there, I would be attending Bucks games all the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah, like I've said in the past, it's Giannis is different. We'll see how everyone else feels about this Bucks team, including myself, 3 years post Giannis.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
How do you rebuild after that?
I don't. Even if you rebuild, it's not going to be the same. Seeing what Giannis does every night is incredible.
One more thing before we jump to break and get to I Have Questions. The question today is Matt LaFleur watching his own tape? We have a very fascinating mashup of the things that have come out of Matt LaFleur's mouth in his press conferences this year that seem to be on repetitive pattern. We'll get to that next. Josh, have you ever played a game called Pit? P-I-T.
No.
Dude, look this thing up. Anybody out in the state of Wisconsin on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, have any of you guys played Pit? P-I-T. It is like a card game from the 1950s, 60s. It's old. And it's all about the stock market. As if you're on the floor trading stocks back in the day where everybody was like, I need this, I need that. And they're all yelling out loud. You have, I think, 9 cards. And you have to get all of the same card in order to win. And when you have all the same cards, you hit the bell. Bing.
Sure.
The only way you can get cards is by saying, I need 2, I need 2, I need 1, I need 3, I need this. And it is chaos.
So it's a nice, relaxing, fun game to play.
Totally. Yep.
A chill night at home.
It is an ADHD's absolute amaze balls not nightmare game. Like, it's amazing. The chaos is right up your and I alley. You should look that up.
Yeah, I will. I am going to.
Best game ever. All right, when we come back, I have questions that we know you do too. The Nicolay Law Fan Talking Text Line, 414-677-1250. It's Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. What's up, Wisconsin? Welcome back inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Hey, a reminder, if you missed yesterday's show or the shows last week and you want to get caught up, just search Inside Wisconsin Sports on your favorite podcast platform, Apple Podcast, Spotify, wherever you get your pods. Just search Inside Wisconsin Sports. Hit the follow button, and you can catch up on every episode, every hour, every highlight, whenever it works for you.
Boom.
Josh, it is 6:30.
Yep.
And we have questions.
When things just don't add up, Trevor and Josh ask the hard questions or just point out how messed up stuff is.
I only have one question.
Can you fly this plane and land it? Surely you can't be serious.
Do you view this season as a failure?
You asked me the same question last year.
What's the most important question the Badgers have to answer Saturday?
This is a great question. Oh my God, this is a great question.
It's time for I Have Questions on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
The Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text Line, 414-677-1250. What questions do you have this morning about all things Wisconsin sports or Wisconsin sporting life that Josh and I can answer for you? Because you've come to the place that knows all.
That's not true at
Not
all.
true at all. Not at all.
We'll give you our answer.
Well,
but
we're going to answer.
It might not be the right answer, but we'll give you an answer.
It's actually highly likely it's not the right answer. But boy, is it going to be
fair.
fun. Real fun. Admission. I have a quick admission.
Okay.
I think I'm weirdly excited for Seth Rollins to come back to the WWE.
You know
He
why
got
I am?
screwed over.
You know why I'm excited? Because I'm sick of seeing him doing like
All his Bears crap.
broadcast stuff on ESPN and like he's on Get Up and I'm like, what is this? Like a legit injury? Is he transitioning out of the ring into like a different role? It was
that'd be
super
great.
weird. I don't know what the heck's going on.
All right, so my question today is, does Matt LaFleur watch his own tape? Like when he says we review the tape and the tape doesn't lie and all these things that he talks about in reviewing, you know what? Got to go watch the tape. Definitely got to go watch the tape. Matt LaFleur talked in his last presser about if you don't review the tape, it's the same song and dance.
The tape's the tape. We're going to tell the truth. And like I told you guys earlier, everybody has to acknowledge it and accept it for what it is. And then you got to learn from it. We cannot put ourselves in that situation again. Otherwise, it's going to be the same song and dance.
The tape is the tape. The tape is the tape.
It doesn't lie. And everybody has to come to the realization and just admit that that doesn't lie. Because if you don't do that, you get the same song and dance on repeat, as if you don't watch the tape and make the corrections that you need to make, you might experience the same thing over and over and over. And it might sound like this.
Bad decision making, and it really showed up in every phase of football. And if you do that, you're going to get your ass kicked, and that's exactly what happened. There was a lot of mistakes out there that we have got to clean up, between penalties, some miscues, some misops. But one thing that we have to get corrected is, when you have 14 penalties in a game, it's going to be tough to overcome that. We got to do a much better job of coaching the fundamentals, the details, and then we got to lock in. Just too many critical mistakes, but there's a lot of things that we all have to clean up, starting with myself. There were a lot of critical situations where they were able to make the play and we didn't. I don't care who you're playing in this league. If you do that, you're gonna lose games.
Josh. That's all from this year.
Okay.
Now, we have been talking about this for a hot second.
Yeah.
Because that is very prototypical Matt LaFleur.
We heard a lot more of it earlier in the season, to be honest with you. I haven't heard him go towards the, it's on me. That starts with me. We got to be better. I haven't heard that a lot in the pressers as of late. I thought maybe some PR team was like, hey, bud, you're leaning on that one a little too much. When you're up there, just go with a different line. Avoid the it's on me. We got to be better line.
But Matt LaFleur talks about the tape in general and making corrections in general, whether he admits that it's on him or literally in this last press conference, and we played it yesterday, that we need to coach our guys better. That was literally out of the last game. Well, we got to do a better job of coaching our guys. We talked about that yesterday. It's week 17.
Yeah. Can I just say though, I'm listening to that. I'm trying to take a step back and think, all right, when you see your team fall apart like that in week 17, what are you supposed to say? Right? Because you can't go out there and say something that, blows up you can't go out there and be like, yeah, I'm also disappointed in this team. These guys suck. Like, you can't go out there and say that, right?
Well, being a realist, what would you say? If you were Matt LaFleur and you look at this season and all of the injuries and just the lack of production against teams like Carolina or the Browns, or getting embarrassed at home by Derrick Henry and the Ravens, you're up to bat. Josh, you're at the podium, which, pause, there's 5 times a week he has to go and face the media.
Correct.
That's
it's a lot.
Not so. Yeah, absolutely. What do you say other than wash, rinse, repeat? Because I just thought it was fascinating that he didn't want to see the same song and dance. And yet the same song and dance is what he's been saying to Packers fans all season.
Yeah, and I understand that. I do. But also, to the point you just made, he's got to talk to the media 5 times a week. At some point, I feel like a lot of what he's saying is the equivalent of him saying, it is what it is. Keep going with cliche mania. Just keep saying things to answer the question and be able to get away from the podium. I mean, as tough as it is as a fan to hear, I feel like you can't necessarily show weakness. You can't go out there and say, hey, it's been a tough year. We've lost a lot of guys to injury.
Why?
Because then that's a message being sent to the locker room that you don't believe in the guys that you have. You don't believe in the next guy up. You don't believe in your coaching staff that, according to Jeff Hafley, that's their job, is to work with the second, third, fourth stringers to make sure that they're ready to go, because injuries happen in football. If you contradict yourself on all of that, if you show any weakness in agreeing with the obvious, even though we all know it's true, I feel like Matt LaFleur and any head coach is in a tough spot if they go out there and they say something like that.
The 414-677-1250. That's a Nicolay Law fan talking text line. What do you think? What is Matt LaFleur supposed to say? Josh, I hear what you're saying, and I wonder if it's still the same when he goes, well, we got to coach him better. Did that not throw his coaches under the bus a little bit?
Yeah, yes, but I'm saying that's who he always throws under the bus, is himself and the coaching staff. It's we have to be better, and it starts with me. Right? That's always been his go-to. We got to check the tape. I thought we had a good week of practice, but we didn't execute it. These are all very generic, general statements that they do answer the question, but they're not giving us anything, and they never really have. He's not one of those coaches that's going to talk about biting kneecaps or do something like Dan Campbell, but he's also not out there saying something that could be misconstrued as him giving up on his players or being realistic about the situation they're in, which I think that maybe he could be that at the end of the year. Maybe in his end of the year presser, he could be like, yeah, I mean, listen, we had a lot of adversity this year. It was really tough. We lost a lot of great players, and I thought that we did the best that we could, and it wasn't good enough, and we got to be better next year. I'm sure that's what'll happen.
This is the one thing, though, that sticks in my craw about Matt LaFleur. And if my physician, by the way, is listening right now, did I tell you this? When I went to the doctor with my son, the first thing he said to me was, whoa, not a fan of Matt LaFleur, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm well. Thanks for asking. No,
yeah,
he's
not
so
about
good.
you.
So good. He's so good. My problem isn't with the person. My problem is with the process. And last I checked, Matt LaFleur is process-driven, right, Coach?
Oh, sorry. Hold on.
Matt LaFleur, in his introductory press conference, told us how process-driven he really is.
My philosophy is really to lead, teach, and inspire. We are going to be process-driven, and we are going to be process-driven in the pursuit of bringing a Lombardi trophy back here to Green Bay.
Okay. I'm taking the words. What he said, I'm the kid from the Peanuts hearing the teacher. Wah, 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 wah.
That's my point.
But I'm not even listening to that. Listen to, hold on. let me just play this back on. Here's a song and dance quote.
The tape's the tape. We're going to tell the truth. And like I told you guys earlier, everybody has to acknowledge it and accept it. And
okay, here's him opening presser.
My philosophy is really to lead, teach, and inspire. We are going to be process driven. And
whoa, those are not the same guy.
Thank you.
Those
Welcome.
are two different people. I understand that he's what, 8 years older? I don't know how long. I can't tell you how long he's been here. But okay, close enough. It's that is, you know when they do the picture comparison for like the presidents?
Yeah.
And it's like you see them when they're sworn in and then on their last day and they look like they've aged 25 years. Vocally, audibly, just listening to the difference between day 1 and day 3006 are night and day. Holy crap.
Oh, this is so good.
That's wild.
Thank you.
I don't even, what did he say in this? I don't even know. His tone and his energy blew my mind.
my philosophy is really to lead, teach, and inspire. We are going to be process driven, and we are going to be process driven in the pursuit of bringing a Lombardi trophy back here to Green Bay.
Who's that guy? I want that guy to coach my team.
Yeah, right? No doubt. Josh, my goal in this wasn't to win you over about the points, but I think it just happened. Because if you are that guy and listen, opening pressers are what they are, right? I mean, you come in, you rah, I understand. But if it's to lead, coach, and inspire or whatever he said, and that it's process driven, and then you play that mashup that we put together, and it's nothing but the opposite of what that is. Well, we have to coach the teams better. We need to do this. We need to, dude, it's the same song and dance, which is exactly what he said about his team if they didn't go back and watch the tape. If his team doesn't go back and watch the tape, man, it's the same song and dance. I am process driven, and I want to lead, coach, and inspire.
Man, I'll tell you what I want to do now, really badly, is go back and find Matt LaFleur presser after a loss in his first and maybe his second season.
Great call.
Third season. And just hear the tone and the energy. Because we were all over that Jeff Hafley presser and going, I want to run through a wall for him. I heard that Matt LaFleur opening presser and I wanted to run through. I was excited. I was jacked. I'm wondering if maybe the guy's just burnt out.
Why would that be, Josh?
Well, I don't know. You're getting paid millions of dollars to coach a football team. So, I don't know. Does someone need to play that clip for Matt LaFleur?
Doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result is insanity. And I think that's maybe where the Packers are with the current leadership from the coaching perspective. That's all I'm saying. We'll see how this plays out. And I understand that there are a lot of people going, Trev, how do you judge this guy with all these injuries? I'm not judging the man. I'm judging the performance and the position. And that speaks volumes to me.
Yeah, that was crazy. The second he started talking in comparison, if you're watching on YouTube or Twitter, I mean, you saw I jumped out of my shoes. It's like, wait, am I playing the wrong clip? Who is this?
Didn't sound. By the way, if you were to put a comparison of presidents up for Matt LaFleur, his little beard line has changed big time, and it's a lot grayer.
Is it?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's the one thing I don't think's changed. It still has perfect hair.
Stressed
out there making all the women be happy.
When we come back, the most electrifying sound of the day, plus we will answer your questions on the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line 414-677-1250. We are inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Inspire, coach, lead. Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sorry, I was just enjoying a little Green Day there.
Yeah, there you go.
It just happened to me. I forgot I was doing radio.
It's okay sometimes.
Listen to Green Day in my ears. I'm like, okay.
That's nice.
Trevor and Josh, and time for the most electrifying sound of the day. Six games below 5. Wow, my goodness. Left-handed hammer. And Tentacumpo. Oh, my goodness.
Another half-court set.
And Tentacumpo. When he is on the floor, this is a totally different team from Milwaukee.
Now, huge difference. You saw it right there while that percentage is when he's on the floor. Here he goes again.
Freight train. Unbelievable. He has been doing that for over a decade.
Like that.
Not at all. And Tentacumpo's third dunk of the night.
And that mashup of Giannis doing his thing, thanks to Eric Collins and the FanDuel Sports Charlotte TV network, is our most electrifying sound of the day, brought to you by our friends at Best Electric. Remember, no job is too big or too small for Best Electric. Don't stress. Connect with the best. Call them today or visit bestelect.com. I had to do a little mashup there because obviously the game in Charlotte last night, and you know we play Lisa Byington and the FanDuel Sports Wisconsin, but you watch it from and you listen to the other perspective, right? The non-home call, and the way that the favoring the other team play-by-play guys still call Giannis's calls, and it's beautiful. Oh my goodness. And he's been doing that for 10 years. I mean, it's undeniable what he does, even to the other teams. It's just the guy's nuts.
I couldn't help but giggle when he goes, man, this is just a different team when Giannis is on the floor. Thanks, Captain Obvious.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
And then 30 seconds later, Giannis just bulldozes a guy to the basket.
The crazy story about last night's Bucks game is Giannis only played just over 25 minutes. 24 points, 7 assists in 25 minutes and 17 seconds.
Yeah.
Wait till he's off the pitch count.
Right. Well, the nice thing, though, is that then not only does Giannis get to go in and he does Giannis things, but then when you have other guys step up, you know, Bobby Portis had a huge night off the bench. He was the leading scorer on the team, and he was off the bench. So that's huge. You have pieces like that, too. You're going to come away with a win. The thing is that the Bucks just couldn't do it regardless of what those other guys put up without Giannis. If you have Giannis for 25 minutes, you still put yourself in a way better position than without him.
But to your point, and interestingly, even with Giannis only playing about 25 minutes, look at the box score from last night. Bobby Portis, 25 points. Giannis, 24. Miles Turner, 23. Kevin Porter Jr., 15. Ryan Rollins, 13. That is a balanced offense. And that's what the Bucks need to do if they're going to succeed, with or without Giannis, frankly, because you can tell just from previous games and go even back to last season. When Giannis takes over, it's nowhere near balanced like that. But when Giannis doesn't take over, that type of offense doesn't show up.
Right.
So we might be onto something here with trying to show everyone, ourselves mostly, hey, look what happens when we have a balanced offense. Of when a lot of people score, a lot of people get into this game, and geez, Bobby Portis off the bench with 25. We'll take that.
Absolutely, we will.
The Nick Law fan talking text line 414-677-1250. Annie in Oconomowoc. Who do you guys want the Packers to face in the first round of the playoffs? I want to face the Bears. Josh wants to face the Eagles.
Yeah, I don't want to face the Bears because I don't like either matchup. I don't feel confident in this Packers team at all based on that loss to the Ravens. And we're going to talk about it a little bit in Take Back Tuesday in the 7:00 hour. But Annie, I don't feel confident either way, and I don't want to listen to Bears fans be Bears fans. So
you're assuming that the Bears would win. Is that fair?
I'm assuming either team. I don't like the Packers' chances, period. is my point.
Is there anything that would make you pick the Packers in the playoff game? Like, what would have to happen?
I go off of recency and what I've been shown the last two games, essentially since the last time they played the Bears, has just been ugly. It hasn't been good. I've completely given up on Rashawn Gary. There's not enough there for me to go. Yeah, especially seeing the way that the Bears played against the Niners. I mean, that offense was humming, and they were in it, and they wanted to be there. They knew they had a shot. The Packers are playing spoiler if they go to Chicago. I mean, either way, they're playing spoiler, but no one's expecting them to be there, and they haven't shown that they should be there. They're limping in.
Are they?
Yeah.
Like every other Wisconsin sports team into the playoffs of most recent history. But are we taking that for granted? Whether we limp in or not, to me, is irrelevant. The playoffs are the playoffs. And I don't think we should take for granted that the Packers, the Brewers, the Bucks have been regulars in the playoffs now consistently for years. We'll talk about that next in the Morning Mind Dump. Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Stay here. I am an eternal optimist. So please, God, don't tell me that you're an eternal pessimist.
I like to say I'm a realist.
Oh, great. We're going to get along great. This is going to be great.
This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
Crowd is here, about to blow, waiting for me to start the show. Out the curtain, lights go up, I'm home. Whoa!
Brett Favre goes back to pass. He pumps. Now he fires over the middle. Intercepted. I can't believe what I'm seeing right now. It was intercepted by Tracy Porter, near side to the 40, and John Sullivan runs him down at the 47-yard line. You've got to be kidding me. I can't believe what I just saw.
Looking at that play, he should have just held on to a call. He could have easily gotten 5 or 6 yards if he would have just pulled that thing down and dove forward.
But why do you even ponder passing? I mean, you can take a knee and try a 56-yard field goal. This is not Detroit, man. This is the Super Bowl.
Guys, what does that have to do with the Packers game this weekend? Absolutely nothing.
Well, a little bit. I can tie it back.
Yeah, of course we can, because we're Inside Wisconsin Sports, but we just love trolling the Vikings and the Bears. That's what we do best.
And the game means nothing. So why not celebrate the fact that we're playing the Vikings, who also the game means nothing to, with one of Paul Allen, the Vikings play-by-play radio announcers, most upset calls.
It was amazing. What's up, Wisconsin? Welcome in Inside Wisconsin Sports. Trevor Thomas, Josh Albrecht.
Hi.
Live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios and powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. The best part of what you just said is that it means nothing to the Vikings and it means nothing to the Packers, but the Vikings are used to that. We are not. And
I don't know that that's necessarily true. I feel like we've been in a decent amount of situations to where the last game of the season doesn't matter. It's usually just because we're already locked into our spot. We're so entitled that usually that last game of the season doesn't matter. We're resting players because we're looking forward to whatever the first game of the playoffs is going to be.
That's my point. It doesn't mean something to us for different reasons than it doesn't mean something to them. Yet this year, Packers fans, all of us, feel like it maybe doesn't matter to us as well. And I want to be sure we don't take that for granted. The fact that we're limping into the playoffs, the fact that that's been a common theme for Wisconsin sports teams of most recent years, doesn't negate the fact that they're in my opinion. May not be Josh's. Time for the morning mind dump.
I hear voices in my head, they counsel me, they understand, they talk to me.
The coffee has kicked in. We're awake and ready to roll. Let's get some things off our chest and out of our heads.
You don't know what it's like to be me out here for you. It is an up at dawn, pride-swallowing siege that I will never fully tell you about, okay?
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
I'm in a glass case of emotion.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
We got no food. We got no jobs. Our pets' heads are falling off.
It's time for the morning mind dump on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
The Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text Line, 414-677-1250. What do you have to get off your chest, out of your head as you start your Tuesday here in Wisconsin? Shoot us a text or give us a call. Let us know what you want to chat about, because we think, as a Packers fan, it's all good. We're still in the playoffs. Josh, I think you have a different take on that.
I do. I've been saying it too much this year in 2025. I'm just sick of limping in. I'm sick of it. Okay? I'm looking at going back way too far and looking at what has worked for Wisconsin sports. And it's being hot at the right time. The Bucs weren't the number 1 seed, right? They weren't when they won it all in 2021. They were the 3 seed. When the Packers won it decades ago, they weren't the number 1 seed, right? They were the 7 seed, but they were hot. They were the hot team. They weren't limping into that spot. They were the hot team at the right time. They need to be the hot team at the right time. I've said that so many times. And that hasn't been the year 2025 for Wisconsin sports. Trevor, do you remember when the Brewers clinched the NL Central? Do you remember that day? Let me refresh your memory. They were in St. Louis and lost the game and had to watch them become NL Central champions based on the Cubs losing. I don't even know where they were. I think they were in Cincinnati at the time. This was the call from Stephen Watson.
What they hope is going to be an NL Central crown in a matter of moments. We'll be there to document all of this experience for the Brewers. And ball game. Your Milwaukee Brewers are National League Central Division champions. The magic number has dropped to 0.
Hooray! Woo! Yay! And I remember having conversations with you, Trevor, going, man, I'm not feeling great. And you went, there's plenty of time. There's still plenty of time. You're worried about, look at what this team's been all season. Look at what this team's, and they did make it to the CS. And that wasn't, but then they got smoked. And the bats were still cold, and they were not the hot team. They weren't the hot team, and it was disappointing. You know what the call was for the NFC North? You know what that call was to decide that? I absolutely am. Listen to this.
41-24, the final score. And they're celebrating in Chicago as the Bears are NFC North champions.
Wow. That was the final call of the Packers' last home game. Limping in. This is such a tough spot to be in for a realistic fan, because I am grateful that we're not a team that misses the playoffs every year and we're celebrating just making it. But I'm also aware of the fact that if they wouldn't have changed the rules to add that 7th seed in the NFL playoff scenario, Packers wouldn't be in. The last 3 years they wouldn't be in. We would be having much different conversations. This is not the hot team. We're limping in, battered and bruised and beat to hell. And if the Bucks somehow even turn this around with Giannis, without Giannis, however this ends up going, I don't think it's going to be that all of a sudden they're the team. What are they? The 11, I think, is what Giannis said the other night. They're in the 11th spot right now. Literally they would be in a play-in game to get in. Limping in. I don't want to limp in anymore, Trevor.
Okay, so is that what you're upset by? Is that we're making the playoffs yet don't have as many championships to show for it? Or do you want to be the dominant team going into the playoffs and not have to worry about I'm trying to understand before I share my...
Yeah, I want to be the team that the rest of the league is scared of, right? The Rams almost lost they did lose to the Falcons last night. I mean, but they were down big, right? The Rams for a long time this season were that team that people were scared of. It was, well, the Rams are the best team. They've fallen off. They're not the hot team right now, right? That's a big thing for me. Is I've watched a lot of great regular season play. I just want to see a regular season end and be able to say the rest of the league is scared of us. I feel like it's been a while since I've been able to see that in any Wisconsin sport.
Yeah, maybe so. Maybe it's been a while. They're to your point about other teams being scared of us per se. But back to that Stephen Watson clip that you just played. You know what I heard in the background? I heard players celebrating. I heard players excited to be in the playoffs. I heard players excited to be NL Central champs.
Yeah, absolutely.
As a fan, that's how I feel. And any Packer fan that grew up in the 70s or 80s that's listening to this right now is saying, you have got to be kidding me.
Right.
Because there is a large era of Packers football in the playoff era, by the way. The postseason didn't start until 1933. So in the playoff era, do you know where the Packers rank in terms of playoff appearances? Any idea? Just throw it out there.
6th.
First.
Oh, okay.
Number 1 in the entire NFL in the playoff era. First, 37 total playoff appearances since 1933. That's number 1. Playoff percentage, meaning playoff appearances per playoff era season, they're 9th. behind these teams: Cowboys, Ravens, Vikings, Patriots, Dolphins, Chiefs, Seahawks, Colts. Of those teams, Josh, Cowboys, Ravens, Vikings, Patriots, Dolphins, Chiefs, Seahawks, Colts. There are 2 that should put any feather anywhere near their cap of being a dominant team that people were afraid of, and that's the Patriots and the Chiefs.
Yeah.
That is dominant football by the Green Bay Packers, and Super Bowls are very difficult to win. And yet in our lifetime, they've been there 3 times, have 2 Super Bowl championships to show for it, and they won Super Bowl 1 and 2. For me, you can't win the Super Bowl without getting in the playoffs, last I checked. And as a fan, that's step number 1. Get in the dance.
Right. It's the bites of the apple. It's the Mark Antanasio special. Today on the menu, we have bites of the apple. That's what we're serving. I know. And you can't, it's for a realistic fan, it's very tough because you're 100% right. You cannot win a championship if you're not there. So you have to celebrate the fact that you've made it. But also, there was just a different feeling if you go back to those mid 2010s and the way that we viewed the Packers and even the way that we viewed the Brewers of in 2010, 2011, even 2012 before they fell apart in September. It was different. The way that the league viewed us, the way that I think we viewed the season, there was a different energy to it because we knew good luck getting past us. That's at what point in the last however many years, I guess since maybe 2018, maybe.
And yet a team got past us then. And so that's what I'm trying to surmise here is let's go Brewers. So we started as a team in 1970, made it to the World Series in 1982. If we look at from 1982 to today, the Brewers rank 16th out of 30 MLB teams by playoff appearance rate. They are 14th of 30 with 10 playoff appearances since 1982. Yet I remember as a Brewers fan from 1983, the year I was born, until 2008, there was a little bit to celebrate. Very little. Never made a playoff appearance in my entire life until 2008. So as an optimist, I guess, I look at this differently going, dude, this is the greatest time to be alive as a Wisconsin sports fan. The Wisconsin Badgers basketball team has played for a national championship. We've been to multiple Rose Bowls with a football team that wears the Badger W.
Yeah, but how long ago? This is what I'm saying. You're looking at this all. You're not wrong about anything you're saying, but you're looking at this scope over the last 70 years.
No, I'm looking at it in my lifetime as a fan, and I'm saying this is amazing. Look how many times the Packers have made the playoffs. Look how many times the Packers have made the NFC Championship game in our lifetime, Josh. I'm simply saying the playoffs are step number 1. And whether we limp in or go in the dominant team means nothing to me. And it should mean nothing to us as Packers fans because in 2010, we proved it. We literally proved that you can limp into the playoffs and win the Super Bowl. Am I saying that that's going to happen this year? Duh. No. But boy, if it does, we're replaying this segment back.
Do you think we're in the same spot now that we were in 2010 going into the playoffs?
No, absolutely.
Okay.
Not. That's you got to make the playoffs.
100%. But I'm saying I don't think it's unrealistic to also look at how you're getting into the playoffs, what you're doing as you enter the playoffs, judging your team going into the playoffs. When the Packers had to go on the road and play all those teams to get to Chicago to play in the NFC Championship game, they were a team that no one wanted to fear or no one wanted to play. Everyone was saying, I don't know that I want to play Aaron Rodgers in this team right now. I understand they're a 7 seed, but they're playing some damn good football. I'm asking when the last time we've been able to say that is. Not even just about the Packers. I'm talking about the Brewers. I'm talking about anybody, everybody. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm looking for. I am not discrediting making it to the playoffs. I understand 100%. That's part of the process. That's step 1. You can't win it all if you're not there, right? So getting there is the most important first step. You got to do that. I'm saying I want a little bit more, and I feel like 2025 was a year of that. We were that close to it. It could have been that. The Brewers had some streaks.
You're saying that close to the championship.
To being that hot team and not limping in. When the Packers
Do you think
against
the Brewers
the
limped into the playoffs?
Yes.
Why? They were the best team in baseball this year.
Correct. Over the whole season, they were. They did not go into the postseason on a hot streak.
I don't think they limped in. What about the Brewers had a cane going into the playoffs? They played 500 baseball after they won their 14th in a row, which came after they won 11 in a row, which came after they won 8 in a row. Nothing about the Brewers team limped into the playoffs. They just weren't the hottest team in baseball going into the playoffs. This is the greatest Brewers season ever.
Correct. That's what I'm saying. I'm not discrediting any of that. And they did make it. I'm saying they weren't the hot team. And they had an opportunity because they showed flashes of it. They showed streaks of where the national media they had no choice but to talk about the Brewers because what they were doing was scary. It was, I don't care. You don't want to play the Brewers right now. They are the hottest team in baseball. They just weren't that at the right time. The Green Bay Packers, I feel like we were feeling like teams better look out because this Packers team from week 1, they are back on Thanksgiving. That's how we were feeling. That's how we were feeling. We had Micah Parsons. Everything was going. We beat the Lions in a game in Detroit, and it was a convincing win. And we went. Matt LaFleur's figured things out. We can make this be the hot team, and then everything fell apart. And their play, the beginning of the season, right, and up to that point, allowed them to get in the playoffs, but they fell into the 7th seed. They fell into it. They lost their last 3. Now they're playing a Vikings game that doesn't matter. And then they're going to go to either Chicago or Philly. And no one is saying, you better look out for this Green Bay Packers team.
So I know it's not sucks. I know it's not Would You Rather Wednesday, but would you rather, Josh, have a team absolutely be crap the first half of the season, come on strong, and make the playoffs as the 7th seed, which nobody saw coming? Or would you rather have a team like the Brewers have an incredible season and walk into the playoffs with the number 1 overall seed in Major League Baseball, yet didn't necessarily go on a heater to end the season?
So in the Brewers scenario, where are they finishing?
No, it's not about where they're finishing. It's about limping in. It can't be where about they're finishing. That's a completely different argument. The argument is not where they finish. It's how they get there. And your concern is that as a Wisconsin sports fan, you're kind of tired of limping into the playoffs, your words. So what would you rather? Would you rather have a team like the Brewers this year, who are the number 1 team in baseball, the best record in baseball, and the overall number 1 seed heading into the playoffs, yet didn't go into the playoffs on a heater? Or would you rather have a team like the Packers, and let's just hypothetically say this happened. I mean, they ran the table to get into the playoffs. So would you rather us run the table to get in as the number 1 seed and yet have a DS start to the season?
Mm-hmm.
Or would you would rather that?
Yes.
So
because when we ran the table, we almost made it.
It's not about the team being great. It's about the team being hot. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, you have to be good, because if you're the hot team, but it's too late, then you're still not going to make it, right? That's why step 1. That's why I said step 1 still has to be making the playoffs. But if you're limping in comparison to being the hot team, there is something to be said about that. And the Packers just haven't been that. The Brewers weren't that. They had the best season ever. I'm not discrediting the season the Brewers had. I'm just saying they weren't the hot team. They weren't the hottest team at the right time. And I feel like we haven't had a team that was that for a while. I think the Brewers were in 2018. They beat the Cubs, game 163 in Wrigley. They take the division, and I believe that was the number 1 spot in the NL. I mean, that was, and then we went in. We almost made it to the World Series. That was the team. I don't think we've seen that Brewers team since then. I don't think we've had that juice, that electricity of a team coming on at the right time. And with the Packers, I don't think we've had that since Rodgers. What? second
2020
MVP,
probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2020, I'd say the Packers were a pretty dominant team heading into the NFC Championship game, and we ran into Tampa Bay with Tom Brady.
We
and that
ran
was
into
it.
Tom Brady. Yeah.
Like every other team that ever ran into Tom Brady for the most part of his career.
Right. Freaking
But
Tom Brady.
look how rare that is, though. I mean, like, I think I hear what you're saying, and at the end of the day, I would choose limping into the playoffs, going into the playoffs strong. Either way, playoffs, great. Let's get there first. The chance of sports is still wide open because you just never know. And the only way that you're going to find out is if you get there. And for me, as a Wisconsin sports fan through and through, I would much rather know that we're going to play in the playoffs and may not perform than not get there at all. That's just me.
Yeah, I love the text react, by the way, on the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line, 414-677-1250. Some of you agree with me, some of you don't. I'm here for all of it. We got to take a break, but when we come back, let's get to some of this.
Yeah, we'll absolutely get to this. We'll keep this conversation going in the next segment. There's a lot of feedback on the Nicolay Law Talking text line. Keep it coming. 414-677-1250. We'll dive into your responses as well as other points that people are making there when we get back on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Josh, Jason in the 920 has a brother named Dan who coined a phrase, the pilot light of anger has been lit.
Oh.
I think we've lit a pilot light of anger on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network today because there are a lot of people going, really? And now listen, not everybody's pilot light of anger is lit. There's some people that are like, yeah, agree. We need some championships.
Yeah, listen, I know what this is. I'm ready for y'all. I got my boxing gloves on. This is a morning mind dump. I'm getting it off my chest, baby.
So here is some of your feedback, and we're going to get to all of these in this segment, as many as we can anyway. The first one up from 23 minutes ago, Bob in Minneapolis says, years of highly successful coaching has helped prepare me for years of falling short of winning championships with the Packers. So, okay. I mean, at the end of the day, his point is we've had really great coaches and really great seasons, but not as many championships to show for it as we would have liked. That's fair.
Yeah, I feel like he's, has a little play there at Mike McCarthy when he said I'm a highly successful football coach.
Yeah.
And that's fair, but also it goes back to that as a realistic fan. Yeah, watching the Packers win a lot of games has been great. Watching them only hold one Lombardi in the last however many years has not been great. All right. Yeah, the 920 here. You can't be for certain the Packers would have missed the playoffs this year if there was only 6 seeds. May have played Love this game if they needed to win it. That's a fair point.
Completely agree with that.
However, I still don't think that even if Love played and they beat the Vikings, which I think that if they needed to, they could beat the Vikings. I think even in this game, when both teams put out it doesn't matter rosters, the Packers can beat this Vikings team. But it still doesn't change the narrative going into the playoffs.
I also read this, though, as potentially the last game. I don't know about you, Josh, but I felt like there was a chance Jordan Love could have gone had we needed him to go in this last game. I don't know.
I think that the team just knew that they put their faith in Malik Willis, and that paid off. Malik Willis was had the best QB rating in the week, I think.
Right. Annie in the 262 says, Josh, who do you think is the hot team in the NFL right now? Based on the conversation of limping in, you really want the Packers to not be the limping in team. You want them to be the hot team.
Niners.
Is there a team that sticks out? Niners?
Yeah. Yeah. And everyone talks about the Niners injuries that they've had too, but the Niners we were talking about the Niners 3 weeks ago as being in a really tough division and a wild card team. And now they're going into the last week of the season with a chance to be the number 1 seed. They're the hot team. Plain simple. 920 says the 7th seed is a glorified participation award. I feel it's ridiculous. Well, you can't say that because the Packers, as a 7th seed, have been the only team to win a game, right? Or to make it to the Super Bowl or whatever it is. I mean, it's happened though. Like that's
the last seed for sure. The 7th seed is something that's fairly new in the last 2-3 years,
right.
I believe. The 6th seed is where the Packers were in 2010 when they won the Super Bowl. My feedback to that is, last I checked, the Super Bowl trophy shines just as much if you're the 7th seed as you are the number 1 seed. And yet you got to get to the playoffs in order to have a chance at that trophy. The 239. Look up. Where's that, Josh? So Josh just wants his teams to be in the perfect spot at the end of the season. I agree. Why didn't they plan all of these injuries for March instead of having them during the season? These guys must not care about winning.
Yeah, the 239 also said a little bit further up the line. So what would you have liked them to do differently? That's the frustrating part. That's why I'm getting this off my chest in the morning mind dump. That isn't their fault that Micah Parsons tears his ACL. It's not a coaching decision that led to this. There's not necessarily a move in this situation with the Brewers, any of that leads to a team being hot at the right time. I mean, I guess sometimes maybe if that happens, but that's just the way of sports. I'm just complaining about the fact that the Brewers, the Packers, the Bucks haven't been in that spot for at least 4 years.
Let's look at this, though. The 920. I remember in 2011, the Packers were 15-1, the hottest team ever.
Yeah.
And lost their first playoff game.
Yeah, that was brutal, as they said. Absolutely.
So my
but
point
going
is,
into that game, people feared us. We were the team to be feared. It was the Packers have been dominant all year long.
Shouldn't have been.
And it's not stopping.
Shouldn't have been, though. Maybe that's my point. We got to get to the playoffs. Whether we limp it or not, to me, is completely irrelevant because of that point right there. So here we are, the hottest team in football, 15-1 in 2011. Everybody feared the Packers, except for the Packers. And then they lose in the first round of the playoffs. Or would you rather have a team that is rallying around each other, going, guys, nobody expects us to win this, and that is amazing. I would rather have that team than a team that thinks they have it all going on and then lose in the first round at 15-1.
920 says, just be a fan and enjoy the ride. Don't give in to worrying about what can happen. Cheer for the good to happen. 920, don't tell me I'm a fan. Thank you. 414 said Brewers making the playoffs in 2008 was great. Yeah, 100%. It was. They
also said they were hammered drunk at game 3.
Yeah, well, I don't.
Many times myself.
I can't blame you.
So the 239 says, we already mentioned this one. The 612, let's go there. With the Packers, it's been this way since 2014. Should have fired the highly successful coach 10 minutes after the game. Packers should have won more Super Bowls. That's again from Bob. I concur. We all concur that with Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers and only 2 Super Bowls to show for it is a head scratcher. Yet, the last part of that sentence matters, Josh. We have 2 Super Bowls to show for it. 4 Super Bowls total in that trophy case over at Lambeau Field in the Packers Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
At some level, do you know, Josh, do we limp into the playoffs at all in Super Bowl 1 or 2 or Super Bowl, what was it, 32? 31. Super Bowl 31. We were in 32, lost 32, and then Super Bowl 45. Did those teams, well, we know 2010 they limped into the playoffs. I don't know about Super Bowl 31. I was a child.
Yeah. No, I don't. I think they were the favorites, but I don't know, like at the beginning of the year. But it's not about necessarily, that's what I'm saying. It's about you still have to make it, right? I'm not against the argument of just getting into the playoffs. That has to be a part of it. But getting into the playoffs and being the hot team at the right time. And to the 239's point of what would you like them to do differently? This isn't something necessarily that something can be done about. I'm just saying it sucks as a Wisconsin sports fan that we've looked at so much heartbreak and yet recency bias has put me in a position to where it's been a lot of something happens that like at a crucial time. We're not firing on all cylinders. We're not all staying healthy when it matters most. Something's happening. We're still getting there. We're still in the playoffs, but we're not that team, that red hot team at the right time.
All right, 2 more, Josh, and then we're going to take a break and come back with Take Back Tuesday and see how our top 5 list from last week showed in the game this past weekend. I can only imagine. Andy in Brookfield, I scrolled up to the top, Josh. The playoffs are great, but how many times has a team that was playing terrible in the last couple of weeks of the season gone on to be successful in the playoffs? Not too many, and that's why there isn't a ton of optimism when your team limps in. That is not true. I have 0 less optimism. I don't have any less optimism if a team limps into the playoffs versus a team that's 15-1 going into the 2011 playoffs.
Oh, come on. You're going against yourself right now.
I'm not.
You said in this segment or in the last segment that you don't believe that this team is going to do what the 2010 team did.
This team, correct, because of the injuries. This has nothing to do with
they're limping in.
No. Oh my God. That is not the argument that you're making. You're making the argument that we need to be the hottest team in baseball, football, basketball, hockey, soccer. It doesn't matter. You want to be the hottest team going into the playoffs. I'm telling you, my optimism doesn't change. This year, slightly different with the injuries. We can all admit that. But whether we're the 7 seed, the 5 seed, the 3 seed, the 1 seed, I hate odd numbers, the 2 seed, the 4 seed, the 6 seed, I don't care. My optimism is the same because of the text just above that. 414, just get in. Any week, anyone can win. Bring on the Bears.
Yeah.
That's
what
exactly
I'm saying is if they're the 7 seed, the 6 seed, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, how they got there, how they finished the season. I don't care if they're the 7 seed. It's How did they finish the season to get to that 7 seed?
It's completely irrelevant.
Oh, not to me.
It's completely irrelevant.
You gotta be the hot team. The hot team wins it all. Sometimes the hot team's the best team, but it's never a team that goes in losing their last 3. They got a team that's all beat up. They lose a key injury, and yet they rally behind them and win it all.
If the hottest team always won the championship, the Packers would need to put an addition on the Lambeau Field for all the trophies. I wish it was that way. It's just not. Because all you got to do, Ben Johnson, is get into the tournament. Careful what you wish for, bub. All right, take back Tuesday. When we come back, the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line wide open for you guys. Keep them coming. 414-677-1250 inside Wisconsin Sports, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Inside Wisconsin Sports, Trevor Thomas, Josh Albright, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Time for a little Take Back Tuesday. What came out of our mouth last week that we really need to take? Sometimes, Josh, sometimes it's from this morning. You know what? I want to take that back. I don't have any of those today.
The point is that we just we reserve Tuesdays as a day where, you know, you can go and you can ask for forgiveness. Once a week, you can say, you know what? I said that, and maybe that wasn't right. I will tell you this. People might not want to admit it, but the Nicolay Law talk and text line out here this morning, way different responses than what we got yesterday talking about that Packers-Ravens game. A lot of people talking about how tough that game was to watch, including ourselves. We're talking about it was brutal, awful loss, all these things, the defense being depleted, Matt LaFleur needs to go. Now I bring up that I just want to be the hot team, which, excuse me for wanting something. And all these people are saying, you know what, that loss against the Ravens, that wasn't even that bad. This team showed this, and that.
Listen, after hard,
that's a different take.
I can have their back on this one. After hard losses, after very difficult Packers losses, there is a few different breeds of people. There are breeds that cannot get to the radio fast enough on a Monday morning or to the post-game show to air their grievances. And then there are other fans that won't touch sports radio with a 10-foot pole on a Monday morning after a Packers loss because they do not want to relive it. So it does not surprise me that everybody and their mother is texted in this morning, which we love, because I bet you a lot of these people weren't with us yesterday, and I don't blame you.
Yeah.
I don't. All right, Take Back Tuesday.
I do. You should always be here. What are you doing?
I can't. When you're here, I'm glad you're here. When you're not, we can't wait to see you again, and that's okay. All right, Josh, Talk Back Tuesday.
Yes. So
we do a top 5 list
on Fridays. We did it on Wednesday last week.
Yeah, we had to because we weren't here on Friday. We debuted this a few weeks ago, and we noticed it was quickly an opportunity to go, how do we do? What do we need to take back? Josh, yours are up first.
Yeah, here are my top 5s. This is what the Packers needed to do against the Ravens. So number 5, the Packers special team needs to have a great game. Packers special team.
I wouldn't say they had a great game. They had a fine game, but there was no punt returns either way because the Packers literally didn't punt and the Ravens only punted once. The return yards in terms of just returning, 163 yards for Green Bay. Baltimore had 102. Yet Baltimore had a lot more kickoffs than the Packers did, and it wasn't a very dominating performance on the receiving end.
Yeah.
McManus was 1 for 1 and 3 for 3 with extra points. We'll take that. But it was nothing. It wasn't disastrous, but I wouldn't say it was great.
Yeah, agreed. Packers need to score 3 or more touchdowns. They did that.
They scored exactly 3 touchdowns.
Yep. Would have loved them more, but it ended up not mattering because Derrick Henry.
Right. Because Derrick.
Number 3, Packers need an interception.
Fail.
Yep. Nope. Secondary still looking for you.
Not only was there no interception, but Josh, you went on to say that we would like to have a takeaway as well. Didn't even get that. We gave the ball to them twice, but certainly not in the realm of getting the ball from the other team this year. It's been very, very miss.
Number 2, less 4th and short situations.
How do you feel about that one?
Yeah, not great.
Ironically, you got the exact scenario you were trying to avoid. The Packers went 0-2 on 4th down, and the killer was 4th and 1 at our own 34 after a 3rd and 1 stop.
Yep.
Brutal.
I didn't like the aggressiveness of Matt LaFleur in the last couple games and it not paying out on the 4th down calls. And so, and I think we both said this, let's just get rid of the 4th down opportunity. Get it on 3rd down. They still had too many 4th down opportunities, and they went over.
That one in particular, I'd like to think Matt LaFleur would like to take back because that was on our own 34.
Yeah, that was wild.
Goes right into your last one.
And finally, and most important, number 1, nothing but touchdowns within the 10-yard line. Yeah. Yep.
We were first in goal from the Baltimore 8. And ended up kicking a field goal.
Yep.
Well, anything you want to take back?
I mean, no, not really. Not really. I hate that played out the way it did, and that, we were kind of right again on what they had to do, and then they didn't do it. You had one in your top 5 that I think really hits the nail on the head, though. Here's what you had to say.
Number 5, we need to win on the 3rd and medium. Nope,
didn't do that.
Packers were 3rd and 6 on 3rd down. Ravens were 10 of 14, and we were 0 and 2 on 4th down, as we just talked. Brutal. Fail. Number 4, red zone touchdowns.
Just said.
How about no?
Yeah, 1st and goal from the 8. Didn't happen.
Number 3, 10-play patience, not 3-play panic.
So you had to explain that one when you did it. Talk about that again.
The point was, I thought we needed to start fast on offense. And good news, we did. I mean, the Packers hit that explosive 2-play, 69-yard touchdown drive.
It was like 3-play patience.
It was 2 plays.
Yeah.
Because it was the pass to Dobbs, penalty, pass to Watson, touchdown. The problem is the exact thing we were wishing for the Packers is the exact thing that Baltimore did. They lived in the patient drives with Derrick Henry versus we just didn't.
Yeah.
Number 2, I just want Baltimore to earn it. I want, if the Packers aren't going to win this game, I want them to beat us. I don't want us to beat us.
Which I don't think has happened yet this season. That's the big takeaway from our top 5s.
I would like to take that back.
Yeah.
Because not only did Baltimore win and earn it, but they did it relentlessly.
This was the first game all season where the Packers didn't beat the Packers.
That is the truth. Good point.
The Packers lost to the Ravens. The Ravens beat the Packers. It was not some super crucial mistakes. And I think that's why I'm feeling differently about where this team's at. All season long, I've been able to say the Packers will not lose to a team unless it's the Packers that beat them. The Ravens said, watch us.
Yeah,
and they did it. And they showed you guys are beat up enough that it's not going to matter. And here was your number 1.
And number 1, and you said it too, we have to win the ball security game. We have to have a takeaway. Fail.
Nope. Didn't happen.
We lost the turnover battle 0-2, and it directly fueled points for them. So not only did we win the ball security game, we didn't get a takeaway. And I think if there is a recap of the Packers season when all this is said and done, as much praise as we've given Jeff Hafley for the defense and the run through a wall for him when he talks and just how they've been able to be who they were with Micah Parsons, which I know we're going to get to in the 8:00 hour. The question there is it Parsons that was more important or was it Love? And Josh, you believe that the Ravens actually proved that Parsons was more important, but we'll get to that.
Yeah. The
whole point about Jeff Hafley and understanding that we have to have takeaways. If we don't have takeaways, we're not going to be able to beat teams. Instead, we're going to beat ourselves. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, we have to have takeaways. And whatever changed from last year's defense to this year, no idea.
I mean, it's the reason why the Bears are where they are. Their defense isn't an immaculate defense, but they're taking the ball away. And they're doing it better than any other team. The 920 here on the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line, 414-677-1250, says, unpopular take back on Take Back Tuesday. I doubted my support for LaFleur last week. I'd like to take that back.
I would like to know why.
Yeah, I would like a follow-up 920 because you're right. That is a very unpopular take, especially after that Ravens loss. Now you doubted your support of him last week, and now you're feeling more confident in supporting Matt LaFleur?
As a matter of fact,
I have questions.
I was going to say, if you'd like to come on the show tomorrow at about 6:25, I have questions for you because I'm not understanding why you would want to take that back.
But I love it. That's what it's about. You know, your feelings change.
When we come back at the top of the hour, there's no better place to go on the feeling of the Packers than inside 1265 themselves. Mike Spofford from Packers.com will join us. Listen, that's where he drives to work every single day. He parks in the Packers parking lot that we all tailgate in, and then he walks in the building and goes to work. And he is kind enough to join us whenever we ask him to join us. Mike Spofford from Packers.com is next. If you've got questions for Spoff, text us. The Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text line, 414-677-1250. I can't imagine what it's like to drive up to Lambeau Field for work every day.
Yeah. Don't take that for granted.
Right? My kids went to grade school literally a block and a half. Their playground, if you look through the trees, has the giant G on the north end zone.
So cool.
Where they went to school. Definitely don't take that for granted. All right, Spoff is next inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. I am an eternal optimist. So please, God, don't tell me that you're an eternal pessimist.
I like to say I'm a realist.
Oh, it's great. We're going to get along great. This is going to be great.
This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
Crowd is here, about to blow, waiting for me to start the show. Out the curtain, lights go up, I'm home. Whoa!
Brett Favre goes back to pass. He pumps. Now he fires over the middle. Intercepted. I can't believe what I'm seeing right now. It was intercepted by Tracy Porter, near side to the 40, and John Sullivan runs him down at the 47-yard line. You've got to be kidding me. I can't believe what I just saw.
Looking at that play, he should have just held on to a call. He could have easily gotten 5 or 6 yards if he would have just pulled that thing down and dove forward.
But why do you even ponder passing? I mean, you can take a knee and try a 56-yard field goal. This is not Detroit, man. This is the Super Bowl.
For those of you that don't listen for 3 straight hours, that is the 3rd time we've played that clip this morning. Josh, we can play that for the rest of eternity.
It's still just as good. I mouth it. If you're watching us on Twitter or YouTube, I mouth the line. It just feels good. Great way to start my day. I love Paul Allen, man. Everyone hates him. Why? He gives you stuff like that.
Well, when he's upset. Boy, when they're good and it's against the Packers, we're not playing any Paul Allen on this.
Well, but that's what I'm saying. How great is it that Paul Allen has worked for a franchise like the Vikings that's given us so many opportunities?
That's a good point. Hey, what's up, Wisconsin? Welcome inside Wisconsin Sports. Trevor Thomas, Josh Albrecht.
Hi.
Live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Joining us now on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. Packers.com editor, Mike Spofford. What's up, Spoff? Thanks for being here, bud.
Hey, thanks for having me, Trevor. Good to see you guys.
Okay, so 2 quick questions. Number one, Wes Hodkiewicz is the Packers.com senior writer. You, Packers.com editor.
Correct.
What the hell's the difference in that?
Yeah, what's it?
It's sort of a title that goes a little bit with longevity, I guess. When I was hired at Packers.com in 2006, I was the staff writer. Then I made my way to senior writer, and now I'm editor. And Wes was hired as staff writer. Now he is senior writer when I got the editor title, and he will probably eventually have my title at some point as well.
Love it. That's great.
That is.
What's it like driving to 1265 for work every day?
I mean, there are worse ways to make a living, right? I mean, it's pretty cool. I mean, and I've actually had the pleasure of both of my kids having part-time jobs there at different times. My son, when he was finishing up high school, he was a Wi-Fi coach on game days, where I would actually go to the games with him, and then he would spend the games helping people with their Wi-Fi and the electronic tickets and all of that kind of stuff. And then my daughter is actually currently working part-time at the Packers Hall of Fame. When she gets back from her current internship in Florida, she's going to be back at the desk at the Hall of Fame, and I actually get to see her every once in a while at work. So that's all cool too.
There you go. She's in the family business, you know?
Yeah.
I love it. Part of the family. Yeah, I love it. Trevor, I'm sorry if you're mad that I'm doing this. I'm bringing Spoff into the conversation that we had. So, Mike, we have in our 7 a.m. hour, we always do the morning mind dump, where if we just have to get something off our chest. And what I needed to get off my chest this morning was just the frustration around the Wisconsin sports teams as of late, limping in, not being that hot team going into the playoffs, right? And obviously, you being there since 2006, you've seen a wide range of Packers teams going into the playoffs. Has it not felt like, and I'm not taking for granted the amount of times that the Packers have made it to the playoffs. I'm not saying that getting to the playoffs isn't important. Obviously, it's the first step, but it's felt like this year, the Packers, in those first 2 games, and then even on Thanksgiving, we were feeling like this team is coming together. They're going to be the hot team at the right time. And they kind of just fell into the playoffs again, into the 7 seed. Does it not feel like it's been that case this year and for a couple?
Yeah, I mean, it's where this season is right now. I don't think is where any of us thought it would be when Keyshawn Nixon intercepted that pass in the end zone to beat the Bears. That was to culminate, I believe, a 4-game winning streak at that time. You mentioned the Detroit game on Thanksgiving. I mean, it was looking like things were really headed in the right direction for this Packers team. And yeah, now it sort of feels like last year again, where things are kind of heading the wrong way at the end of the year. They've got to pick up the pieces a little bit and figure things out. 2 years ago, it was the opposite. I mean, this was the hot team, and they proved that by, blowing the doors off of Dallas and quite frankly, should have beaten San Francisco and had a shot at the NFC Championship that year. So that was just 2 years ago. But yeah, it definitely feels different. I would say if there's any silver lining at all to what has happened, where, I mean, let's face it, 2 minutes left at Soldier Field, we all thought this team has a realistic shot at the 2 seed in the NFC, right? And then suddenly everything changed, and you follow that up with the Baltimore loss, and now you're the 7 seed. You've got nowhere else to go in the positioning. So if there's any silver lining at all, it's that with what has happened, you're actually kind of getting a reset here mentally and physically. You've got a week where you don't have to go all out to try to win anything. And for a team that, quite frankly, had its bye week way back in week 5, getting a chance to reset right now at the new year before you go into the playoffs, maybe that'll be a good thing. We'll see.
So following up on that, talk to us a little bit just kind of about the mindset, because we can only take what we hear and see, but from that last game before the Ravens to the Ravens game, to then not hearing anything out of 1265 2 days in a row. Tell us, is there something we're missing? Is this because it's kind of appears to the fan base, at least to Trevor and I, as can you give us something? Where after that Ravens loss, it was frustrating, and now we're looking for some sort of answer going into the game against the Vikings.
Yeah, we'll find out as the week goes along just how the Packers are going to handle this. I think there's a big question as to, do you play Jordan Love assuming he clears concussion protocol this week, which it sounds like he was close to doing last week and it didn't happen. But, do you risk another potential injury with him?
No, you don't.
I don't think so either. But then you're sending him into the playoffs basically having not played for the last 2.5 games. And I think there's some risk there. I think the injury risk is probably larger. So I'm with you guys on that one. Like I say, I guess I just look at it as an opportunity to reset. I had asked the question on, in our Insider Inbox mailbag column on Packers.com after the loss to Chicago. I had asked the question, okay, how much adversity can one team handle? Like, how much is too much? And losing Micah Parsons and then a week later blowing the game in Chicago, at least on the defensive side of the ball, it looked against the Ravens like it had piled up too much. There was too much to overcome. And so from a mental standpoint, psychological standpoint, I think the opportunity to reset here and, physically, mentally, just kind of get healthier and get in a better place for the playoffs. That's really the one thing to look forward to this week in my mind.
Packers.com editor Mike Spofford joining us on Inside Wisconsin Sports. Spoff, when we do this job and don't drive up to 1265 every day, we get to kind of voice opinions about the professional side of that team without having to see those people face to face until you see them in the community. And then you're like, oh crap, I got to walk the other way. Right. But it's not personal. It's just all about the job or the performance and so on. And I know that's hard for you guys to try to be able to balance that working for the team that you're covering. Do you find that you're able to have, I don't know, opinions or things about certain things and not others? And I'm asking specifically for Coach LaFleur. That's got to be difficult when we look at performance, again, not personal, just performance. How do you balance that?
Yeah, we all have our opinions and whatnot, right? But at the end of the day, there are so many discussions, there are so many things being looked at inside the walls of that building that I have no idea what's going on. I don't know what the people at the top of the organization are thinking. And I just put myself in the place of, hey, I'm not going to assume anything one way or the other, or I'm certainly not going to put myself in a position where I'm speaking for the organization. We all have our opinions, and yeah, there are certainly frustrations and when things don't go well, and as we just talked about, I mean, this season is suddenly in a spot that none of us thought it would be even just a couple of weeks ago. But again, that's just another example of how quickly things can change in this league. They can change for the worse, and they can also change for the better. I remember, go back 10 years to 2015. The Packers lost Jordy Nelson during the preseason. They actually start the season 6-0. Things start to fall apart. You win a game on a Hail Mary in Detroit, but then at the end of the season, you get completely blown out in Arizona. You blow the NFC North title to Minnesota the following week. You're absolutely limping into the playoffs, and you're down 11-0 at Washington in the wild card round in the second quarter. And the next thing we know, the Packers are completing a Hail Mary and are in overtime in Arizona, and they're in overtime away from playing for the NFC Championship. I mean, that's this league. Like, it's where you cannot get too high, you cannot get too low. I think we all know, regardless of what happened against the Baltimore Ravens, the Packers can play with the Chicago Bears and they can play with the Philadelphia Eagles. We know that. We've seen it. We saw the Packers essentially beat the Bears for all but 2 minutes of two games, and beat them pretty soundly. So, there will be opportunity here in the playoffs against teams that I believe and that everybody in that building believes the Packers can play with.
Mike, how important is the next two games, I mean, specifically the wild card game, to Rashawn Gary and his future with this Packers team? Is there something on the line, or does it not really matter because he's got the contract through 2027?
I mean, those are certainly decisions, contracts with personnel and stuff that are going to be looked at in the off season. I do think there are valid questions to be raised when a guy like that is getting paid as much as he's getting paid, and he's barely playing half the snaps on defense when Micah Parsons is not playing at all. So those are certainly questions for the offseason. I mean, can Rashawn Gary do some things to turn that around here as down the stretch and potentially in the playoffs? Yeah, absolutely. And I think everybody's waiting to see that. But yeah, a high priced player like that who seems to be only on the field for about half the snaps, it seems like there's definitely going to be an off-season discussion there.
Josh, I want to continue that conversation for a second. I sent you some audio from Goody on keeping Gary and increasing speed. I want to play this for Spoff because it's a fascinating conversation to go, oh my God, we have Rashawn Gary, Micah Parsons, Lucas Van Ness, and Devontae Wyatt, to we're benching Rashawn Gary? What am I missing? Josh, did you find that?
I don't have it yet.
All right. Spoff, with that being said, with Parsons and so on, there's a lot of people that are going to blame the injuries. How do we get past that part? Because it's real.
Yeah, it is real. I mean, if you had told me at the middle of the season that the Packers were going to lose Tucker Kraft, Elton Jenkins, Devontae Wyatt, and Micah Parsons all to season-ending injuries in a span of about 6 weeks, I would have said, okay, yeah, it's going to be an uphill climb. This is going to be pretty tough. But at the same time, that's life in this league. The San Francisco 49ers dealt with playing a backup quarterback for a long stretch of the season. They lost Nick Bosa and Fred Warner, two of their best players on defense. And the 49ers are playing for the number 1 seed, Sunday night coming up here. So the Parsons injury is obviously the biggest one because you have the least amount of time to recover from it and adjust from it and still try to get where you want to go. And we've seen 2 games so far defensively without Micah Parsons, and we saw the defense play quite well against Chicago, against a team that just put up 30-plus points against the San Francisco 49ers. That team had 9 points on the board with 2 minutes to go at Soldier Field against a non-Parsons defense. But then game number 2 without Parsons, the defense looked completely different and got steamrolled. And so we've seen these 2 different defensive performances without Parsons, which is going to be the Packers' playoff defense here. And only those players in that locker room have a chance to change, what the perception is right now amongst much of the fan base, which is that, it's not going to look good in the playoffs. I say, I think they're going to turn it around quite a bit because we saw what they did against Chicago, and they know that they can play to that level.
Here's that piece from Goody.
I have 2 guys, proven guys that have done it multiple years, feed off each other. I think I'm excited to see what Half can do with that. I think we've, over the past few years, we've really increased our speed on defense, with Edge and Quay and Bull in the nickel. We've really increased our speed, and I'm excited about that.
He's not wrong. They were really, really, really good together at the start of the season. Yep. And then when Micah got hurt, it all kind of just fell off. And it makes me think, to Spoff's point, Josh, it was just like, okay, well, reset.
Well,
even though it's too late.
And I think that part of it, too, just comes down to, is it being a little bit of exposed? Now the spotlight's purely on Rashawn Gary, and the pressure's all on Rashawn Gary. You don't have the help from Mike Parsons.
Well, and to that point, though, that's been where the spotlight has been the last few years. This isn't something new for Rashawn Gary, but there's a chance, Spoff, maybe this is real, that it's hard to come back from an ACL. He maybe just hasn't been the same guy since then.
Yeah, I think, only he knows the answer to that. I think we saw we've seen stretches where Rashawn Gary has played really good football. And I will say, now the Baltimore game notwithstanding, when nobody was defending the run very well at all, but the biggest improvement that I've seen is Rashawn Gary's run defense over the last couple of years. He's become much more reliable in that regard, not taking chances and giving up the edge and things like that. And that has been a big part of what they've done on defense. But I don't know, is sort of needing to play that more disciplined style that he's been asked to play. Is that what has affected the pass rush and the impact there as this season has gone along? Because they've asked Gary to be a much more disciplined, assignment sure player. Like, these are all like the little X's and O's kinds of things that are hard for all of us on the outside to understand. I can appreciate the frustration with Gary when the sack, he hasn't had a sack for a couple of months and all of that kind of stuff. And he is the guy that a lot of people are looking to with Micah Parsons not in the lineup. And we'll see what happens here. As I said, as everybody gets a chance to reset and then, hopefully go into either Chicago or Philadelphia with a little bit more of a clear head, without all of this kind of baggage and injuries and adversity and all this other stuff, hanging around, and then just try to charge ahead.
One more for me, Mike, here from we asked if any of the listeners had a question for you, and Mequan Marie chimed in and said, who is the locker room leader? As a fan, I don't see who is the leader of the pack, and I don't mean Matt LaFleur. Can you ask Mike who he feels is the team leader?
If I were to pick one, I think the team leader is Jordan Love. But I think there are a number of other leaders in that locker room. The next 2 that come to mind are Josh Jacobs and Xavier McKinney. I think both of those guys are definitely leaders in the locker room. But there has been a little bit of a leadership drain when you lose Tucker Kraft, when you lose Elton Jenkins, when you lose Micah Parsons. All of those guys had pretty significant leadership roles on this team as well. And so, when you're losing that level of play on the field, but you're also losing something in the locker room when those guys go down, because they're not at practice every day. They're you're not going to battle with those guys every week, and that takes a toll as well. I think there are a lot of leaders in that locker room. I don't think there's a leadership problem at all, but they certainly have lost some leaders in 2025 along the way.
Something just dawned on me. Spoff, what's your off day?
Your guess is as good as mine, Trevor.
I was hoping it wasn't Tuesday. I was like, oh man, if it's Tuesday.
Middle of February.
Yeah, no, it's it's all good. There are plenty of days I get to take off in the off season, so this is all part of it. We keep plowing ahead, and hey, there's the playoffs to look forward to, and regardless of how the Packers look or are playing going into the playoffs, being in the playoffs sure beats the alternative. So let's see how long they can last.
Yeah, ask your daughter when she's in the Packers Hall of Fame to just take those trophy cases out, mix them up, and tell me which one the team limped into the playoffs for. Because last I checked, they all looked the same.
Yeah, that's right. Very true. Very true.
Mike Spofford, Packers.com editor. Spoff, we appreciate you. We always love having you on the show, man. We'll talk soon.
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks for having me. Good to see you guys.
The Wisconsin Sports Radio Network guest hotline powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. I heard that, by the way.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, completely awful argument. All right.
Good thing you don't control my mic. All right, when we come back, did the Ravens game prove that Parsons was more important to this team than Jordan Love? We will dissect. We want you to as well. The Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line, 414-677-1250. We're inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. They all shine the same.
Yeah. Josh on the way back.
Micah Parsons gets double teamed. Goff though still in trouble and sacked anyway. Guess who got there? Double team didn't matter. Parsons and Enoch.
Fox Sports with the Micah Parsons sack call, which sets us up for a conversation on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Did the Ravens game prove that Micah Parsons was more important to the Green Bay Packers in 2025 than Jordan Love?
Yeah, I go back to when we had Andy Herman on one of the weeks, and he said, I would give this team a 1% chance without Micah Parsons, a 0% chance without Jordan Love, right? And there was a lot of conversation after Micah Parsons went down on if that was the biggest loss that this team could have faced of one player. And I think that at some point, Trevor, we both agreed that Jordan Love was more important. And yet we saw Malik Willis go out there and had me asking questions.
I don't know that we agreed that Love was more important. I believe if I could go back, I would say that I thought Parsons was more important from the position because of Malik Willis.
Mm-hmm.
And if anything, that's what the Ravens game proved, was that there's no shock absorbers on this defense for the absence of Micah Parsons. There should be, a.k.a. Rashawn Gary. We just talked about that with Spoff.
Yep.
But there's just not. And I can't decide if that's scheme, if that's individuals, because the defense is not the same this year as it was last year. And Josh, we talked about this earlier in the show. Where are the takeaways?
Mm-hmm.
Where are the interceptions?
Yep.
They're literally gone for the most part.
Yeah.
And we've had a few injuries back there, right? Evan Williams missed a game. But at the end of the day, the defense is completely different. And then in comes Micah Parsons. And we're like, well.
Yeah. And I think we all expected that Micah Parsons would maybe not be able to shine as much, but he was going to create the opportunities for the secondary to have even more takeaways because the quarterbacks were going to be rushed. For Rashawn Gary and LVN and everyone else to get to the quarterback because they're double and triple teaming Micah Parsons. And it ended up that what we saw more was Micah Parsons, like that clip we just played from the game against the Lions, still getting home despite double teams and not seeing the Rashawn Gary highlights that we were hoping for or the Xavier McKinney interceptions that we were hoping for.
So if the Ravens game proved that Micah Parsons was more important to this team than Jordan Love because of Malik Willis and nobody being on defense to take Micah Parsons' spot, then where does that start? Josh, one of these clips is titled Goody on When Love Took Off. That's what I want to play first, because Goody talked about when he saw Jordan Love reach the next level, and you might be surprised to see when it happened.
We got to certain moments during the course, the course of his kind of development where he was taking over with the ones, and then everything started to accelerate, and then you realized that he just needed to play, and then we got through that part of that season early last year, and then everything took off.
When during the week, Josh, would Jordan Love have started to take over with the ones? What part of the week?
I don't.
Practice.
Yeah. Oh,
practice.
Yeah. During practice, yeah.
Matt LaFleur talked about Micah Parsons in practice, and I completely forgot about this until you and I said, hey, let's talk about this. This might surprise you.
He gives great effort in practice, and I think that's why. I mean, he's a freak of nature, anyways. But I think guys that do that are built like that, and then they have those habits that they form in practice. You know, it's not surprising to me that he can go out there and have a lot of success in the games.
Okay,
we're talking about practice.
Yeah, we're talking about practice.
Remember what Matt LaFleur said after the game against the Ravens? I thought we had a good week of practice.
Yeah. And that was not the first time he said that.
I think practice feels completely different without Micah Parsons. And I think the level that he brings to practice not only showed the defense the level they have to bring, but he was going against the number one offense of the Green Bay Packers, showing them who they had to defend themselves against, if you will.
Yeah.
I think the entire team from a practice level took a step back.
Super valid.
when Micah Parsons got hurt.
Yep.
So who's more valuable? Micah Parsons.
Yep.
Not only just because of Malik Willis, although that's the easy answer. Look what Micah Parsons did to this team. It's dynamic. It's identity, even from the practice perspective.
100%. You're 100% right. Listen, I was in the boat when we got Jordan Love and when we were playing Jordan Love, that I was okay that Jordan Love wasn't set up to be the next Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre, elite NFL Hall of Fame quarterback. I was like, can we just have a good quarterback on a great team? Because having a great quarterback on an okay team wasn't leading to enough championships. Let's have a good quarterback and build around him. And that's what this team was when we got Micah Parsons. It was, this team is a all-around good team. Offense, defense, they're finding ways. That was what it was on paper. Then throughout the season, we were confused. They were trying to find their identity of, they're keeping it close, but they're not leaving room for error, blah, 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 blah. But on paper, it looked a lot better. And I think that that's what goes to that point, though. I'm not saying that Jordan Love's not important to this team. I'm saying I think the proof is in the pudding that if you had a player like Micah Parsons, who was that impactful, like you just said, not just on the field during the game, but on the field in practice, making the entire team better, and then you have a good franchise quarterback in Jordan Love and a good backup quarterback in Malik Willis, Micah Parsons is more important.
Scotty Tiffany on the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text line, 414-677-1250. With Micah Parsons being a pass rusher, on the surface, it may seem like having him in against the Ravens would have made a difference. But if the Ravens had to dedicate extra blockers just for Micah, wouldn't that mean less offensive blocking for Derrick Henry, giving our defense more opportunities to start the run? Stop the run?
Yeah. Yes. Absolutely. Having Micah Parsons on the field, whether they're going pass or run, it changes everything. That's the type of explosive player Micah Parsons is. And it also allows Jeff Hafley to scheme way more things, to be way more creative with how he's playing the defense.
Well, Hafley talked about that in his press conference last week before the Ravens game. And here's what he had to say about not worrying about who's not here.
And I'm not going to look back at who's not here. I'm going to look at who is here and if we can continue to do what we did in that game going forward. And that's what we did. We generated a lot of pressure in that game, and we made a lot of plays in that game against a really good offense. Unfortunately, we just didn't finish.
Well, that was against the Broncos.
Yeah.
But I think we start looking back a bit now and go, how in the world do we make a go of this without Micah Parsons? And it starts in practice. And that was surprising to me. I had totally forgotten. And maybe that's because so many players never really talk about practice.
Right. It's all the coaching staff that's talking about practice.
Well, and if they do talk about practice, what do players usually say? I don't need to practice. I'm sitting this week out, or he's a game time decision, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah. Or it's general, Yeah, we're out there practicing, working on things in practice, that type of generic stuff. I think that it's interesting to look at it, though, of when you're having this debate between Love and Parsons, it really comes down to depth. It's not about the players themselves. It's about who's behind them, right? If we had Clayton Tune and not Malik Willis, are we saying that Micah Parsons is more important than Jordan Love?
I don't know, because Bo Melton should have caught that ball.
Okay, sure.
But I understand the taste we have in our mouths. We don't know anything about Clayton Tune yet.
I'm saying the fact that we have a Malik Willis is what makes it to where Micah Parsons is more important. True. It's just, that's why I had to ask Spoff about it. That's why I think the big takeaway here is there's no one behind Micah Parsons. Not that I expected someone to fill his shoes, but Rashawn Gary came out, tears in his eyes, after Micah Parsons went down and said, we got to step up. I texted him. I said, we got you. I ain't seen it.
Pulled the D together in the locker room.
I haven't seen it.
Well, but to your point,
Rashawn,
it's not Rashawn Gary. It can't be just him because there is no replacing Micah Parsons. It had to be the entire defense in a new scheme. And that's, you and I talked about this a lot right after Parsons got hurt. Somebody go dust off the plan that existed at the end of training camp, and let's try to do that. Well,
that
no
didn't work
Devontae
either.
Wyatt. Well,
Yeah.
that's because we just don't have the guys. You want to talk about depth?
That's
I mean,
the injury bug. Yeah. But what I'm saying is that you got LVN back. You have Rashawn Gary there. I expected to see more out of Rashawn Gary. It was, all right, you don't have Parsons to lean on now. You have to step up. You have to lead this defense. You need to be that guy. You had the ooh-rah-rah speech in the locker room.
Mm-hmm.
Now go do it on the field. He didn't play half the game. And the half he did play wasn't great. That's
what
not
happened to him, you think?
I don't know. But
honestly, it's a question. I mean, and the ACL might very well be it. Some guys who are dominant before a major injury like that just don't recover. Is that an excuse? I don't know. I mean, it's real. That's a real, like, I am never going to, well, I'm not a good example here, but I'm never going to be the same with my Achilles tendon. I mean, my left Achilles tendon, my left quad, my left everything is, but I'm not a professional athlete. I'm not doing what Rodgers did in his rehab to get me back on the field. I would just like to be able to run up a set of stairs.
Right.
Walk.
And I understand a lot of people have said that. A lot of people said that when Parsons went down and tore his ACL. They said he's never going to be the same now. And God, I hope they're wrong. You know, and that when he comes back from the surgery, which he had yesterday, by the way, I believe he posted, you know, with the little cap on in the bed. See y'all on the other side.
Yeah,
so,
he said yesterday went great, and he's excited to get after this rehab, and we're excited too. Hafley said, "You're about to," and this is the difference, Josh. Great cap, no pun intended. If Rashawn Gary is who he is now, post his ACL tear, and Micah Parsons come back, and he is who he was post ACL tear, well, the writing is on the wall, Rashawn Gary.
Yeah.
And that sucks because we were all really excited when we got him.
I'm wondering if Rashawn Gary, and that's why I asked Spofford if these next two games mean anything for Rashawn Gary's playing time or just career with the Packers, because I don't know how you can look at this if you're Goody or the organization and go, nope, we're gonna keep him as we believe in that guy. I think you believe in the commitment you made with a check.
What's Up, Wisconsin is next when we get back. What are you watching today, Wisconsin? What's on your plate of action for Wisconsin sports? Milwaukee and Wisconsin tonight, 20 and a half points. I took the Panthers. Josh took the Badgers. What else is on your docket for Wisconsin sports? We'll do that next. We are inside Wisconsin sports with Trevor and Josh, and we're live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Reminder, stick around on 9 to noon at 10 a.m. Jacob Westendorf of SI will join the show and talk all things Pack. What's Up, Wisconsin's next.
Trevor and Josh want to know.
What's up?
What's up, Wisconsin?
What's up?
What's your plan for the day?
What's up?
What are you doing tonight?
What's up?
Let us know what's up on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
The Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line, 414-677-1250. What's up, Wisconsin? Josh, what's up in your world today?
Yeah, I don't know if anyone's aware, but tomorrow is New Year's Eve, which is crazy. And we have a few people over, but I got to get, like, plans. Like, I got to go get drinks, whatever we're drinking, and get the food ready and, like, whatever we're going to eat. Like, I got to figure all this out. This time between Christmas and New Year's is always, like, so crazy. The kids are home from school. It's what day is it? What time is it? What are we doing when? Wait, there's things happening. And
You're
then
in the thick of it with your kids, dude, because you'll get to a point in your life when your kids aren't young and you'll go, boy, this time between Christmas and New Year's is an absolute breeze.
Oh, yeah.
It's coming.
Yeah, no, it's just kind of like, I'm like, oh, crap. New Year's is here.
Yeah.
So besides, watching some college basketball tonight, a lot of it's going to be planning out tomorrow night.
That's just great. That's comical. Not comical. It's comical to me, I guess, how different you and I are, because I have had New Year's plans for weeks. I know exactly what I'm doing, when I'm doing it, how I'm doing it, where I'm going, who's going to be along, what we're drinking, what we're eating.
Yeah, but like, are you responsible for any of that, or are you just going and you get to enjoy?
I made the reservations at Lost Key Tap in Wrightstown, so I was responsible for that. Myself and our good best friends, Chris and Gina. Gina and I are the type A's. And so we have probably had the plan far more in advance than our spouses and our other friends who are involved. It's funny. I don't know if this is a sign or not, but it's me and my buddies' wives that are the type A's, and my buddies and my wife are the types whatever they are.
Yeah.
Like the whole we don't need a plan thing. I don't even know how that feels.
I mean, every relationship has an A and a B. I'm not the A in our relationship.
I'm the A.
Yeah.
I know you're not the A because your wife has her own side hustle, whatever you want to call it, that not only proves she's an A, but helps other people do their best at being an A when it comes to Disney.
Yeah, well, because you need to, when you're doing a Disney trip, you have to have that. Yeah, I mean, I feel bad for the families that are just like, oh yeah, we'll just go have fun. It's like, that's not, no. There's way too, it's more complicated than that. But to me, everyday life, planning things is more complicated than that. And so that's why I need a type A. I need someone like Julie to be able to, do what she does.
We all do, brother. We all do. If I didn't have the B that kept the house together, when I go off in A land and be who I am, well, we wouldn't have a house. I'll put it that way.
So what's on the docket for you tonight?
Since
I want to
know,
plan anything for New Year's.
How do we get Marquette off this skid? They host Seton Hall tonight at the Fiserv, and my oldest son is a huge Marquette fan, and he's not talking to me at all about Marquette basketball, which tells you exactly what's going on over there.
Oh, we haven't talked about it because we've been focusing on Packers and Giannis talk, but the stuff coming out of Marquette is crazy right now. They're losing players. There was apparently an altercation. Nothing's been like completely confirmed, but there was even something from the Marquette men's basketball Twitter account that was like that retweeted a random fan rumor on an altercation on why a player is leaving, that there was something between Shaka Smart and the player at a practice that happened between the two. It seems like Shaka's completely lost that team. It is, I don't know. It's not good if you're a Marquette basketball fan right now.
I know Shaka Smart has his opinion on the NIL and working with agents and how they, not putting words in his mouth, just don't, right? I think he may be up against what some of these other coaches at the NCAA level, the D1 level, have had to admit. This just may not be for them anymore. I mean, it happened at Virginia with Tony Bennett. He was like, this is exactly everything that I did not want to be a part of. It's why I chose to be a college coach. And he came here from Green Bay. So he knows exactly what it's like to live in the mid-major life and not be able to play the game when it comes to the NIL. I mean, Green Bay does their best, but it's nowhere near where any other team is.
Yeah.
It's why Green Bay is now, Milwaukee's the same. And all the other mid-majors in basketball in the country. They're stepping stones. If we get a guy to come here for 1, maybe 2 years, if he has any kind of purchasable talent, all these guys are talented, don't get me wrong. But if another team wants a guy, they're going to get it. They're going to go get him. And I don't know that Marquette has that mentality. My son, Rhodey, says, you'll laugh at this. He goes, Shaka Smart needs to click that forgot password button on the transfer portal because he's lost his password.
Yeah. Well, he never set up a login, Brody. Right. That's the problem. It's a first-time user, create an account. That's what he needs to do. But I'll tell you, like, it sucks because I didn't go to either school, right? Wichita State, like those are my teams and my team, and they haven't been anything since the coach was choking players. And so it's been a minute since I've had something to cheer for my school. And so when
we all need a little Bobby Knight in our life sometimes.
Well, right. And so, I always, when it comes to the big tournament, you want to have Marquette. You want to have as many Wisconsin teams in the tournament to just enjoy the tournament more. And I'm really worried about what the state of Wisconsin's representation in March Madness is going to be this year. I'm telling you, it's not going to be 2 teams.
There you go, man. That's another don't take it for granted type of playoff scenario.
Yep.
I feel like the Badgers were either at the top or near the top of number of NCAA tournament appearances for a really long time.
Yeah.
We were very used to that. Same thing with Marquette. We're very used to being in the tournament with Marquette. Green Bay, not so much.
Right. Horizon League stuff, not so much. But
Milwaukee made a Sweet 16 run there for a second.
Yeah, that was a minute ago.
Our thanks to Mike Spofford, Packers.com editor, for joining the show today. Tomorrow, it's Wednesday. Happy Wednesdays at 8 a.m. with Doug Gottlieb. We'll confirm. We know he's on the road. We'll see what it shakes out to be. All right, we appreciate you listening. We are Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Stick around for 9 to noon with John Kuhn, SI, in your face about the Pack, because
we're not done yet.